Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Black Ops 7 multiplayer meta obviously has been shaken up a little bit here with Season 1. We do know for a fact we've got a larger meta adjustment update coming in a few weeks' time. They said just before the holidays, but obviously with the Season 1 update, we saw some weapon tuning primarily focused around attachments and some new weapons added in as well. And so today, wanted to go through and break down the new top 10 best weapons you want to be using here in Black Ops 7 multiplayer. First up, real quick, I've gotten asked about this a couple of times. What's the general loadout that you're running or the general class setup that you're running beyond just the primary weapon? Typically, I'm going for gunfighter. I kind of go back and forth between this and perk greed, but most of the time, especially as of late, I've just landed on gunfighter. Having 8 attachments is so ideal. You can really stack weapons out in some pretty crazy ways here. I've always got the Kogot 9 as a secondary here just to quickly have like a little pocket SMG. Most of the time, I'm picking up someone's weapon as like a true secondary and just living with that because this doesn't have the craziest damage or TTK, but I'm typically rocking the just base compensator on here for some better control. We got the Graves barrel on here for better damage range. I got the aftermarket part of the prestige attachment on here for better range, ammo capacity, better movement speed as well. The express rear grip for a better ADS, and then the recoil springs on there too, just to make life a little bit easier. The knife as a secondary. You could also use the new ballistic knife as well for what it's worth if you've got that fully unlocked, so you have something that can also have some range to it if you want for what it's worth. Assault pack sort of been my go-to, my main here, getting up that extra ammo so I can then stack my streaks a little bit easier, not have to worry about running out of ammo or anything. The stims with the speed boost are so good. I prefer Semtexes for my lethal. Then for perks, I'm typically rocking Gung Ho. The improved movement while reloading using equipment is really solid. The fire while sprinting makes gameplay really good too. You're just really aggressive with this on there. Fast hands for the faster swap, and then also the faster reload speed, and then dexterity for reduced motion during jumps, wall jumps, slides, etc. And you take less fall damage, which is especially important to me. If I were to run perk greed here instead, I'd probably be taking something like lightweight in there too. I kind of go back and forth between Gung Ho and lightweight and perk 1 there, but in general really solid there. We get the tactician bonus on there as well. But now that's basically the same on every single setup here today, focusing just on the top 10 weapons, starting off with the Razor here, one of the best SMGs in the game. Fast TTK. This thing is also very accurate, especially with this setup on here. You can really get some good shots off. It's primarily going to be a mid-range gun, like 25 meters is you're probably capping out there, quite frankly. Beyond that, the control and whatnot's just not going to feel consistent. The damage is not going to feel consistent there. But when it comes to the Razor, this thing fries up close. On this, I've got the Lethal Tools ELO, sort of my preferred optic. You're going to see this spammed on a lot of builds here today. We've got the compensator on here for better vertical control outright. I do like the prestige attachment here, better velocity, better stabilization, general control as well. It makes this thing more of a laser beam and is very important for accuracy, all things considered here. I've got the mobile recoil foregrip for better horizontal control, so that's huge, but also some movement speed as well, so it's a little bit more aggressive. That's a win-win. We got the extended mag 2 here, the 50 rounder. It's going to slow you down some. You can try 40 and see if that works for you. This thing just absolutely spits out bullets though, so I do like the large extended mag. Although if you're not a fan of the movement decreases there, the cons there just underneath the face cam, I can totally understand just going for 40 there. The DPM will just be a little bit worse, but either or there is going to work. We got the haste rear grip for the better ADS speed on there. We've got the Talos pad stock for the better strafe. I love that on a lot of my guns too. And then recoil springs on here for even better control. Really focused on that for sure. Really fun build though, really consistent SMG. Next up, we got the X9 Maverick. This thing, although it has seen some updates here to reduce some of its overall efficiency with some attachments, it's still a laser beam. It's still a beast, one of the best guns in the entire game. Easy auto burst weapon too. Like you don't have to keep spamming it, trigger pull, trigger pull, trigger pull. You're good. You can just hold it down and it'll auto burst for you. So that makes life a whole lot easier here. So I'm a big fan of this one as well. Probably my favorite rifle in the game at the moment, or maybe second favorite here. Elo sight yet again. You're gonna get used to me spamming the name of this loadout video after loadout video, setup after setup, no doubt about that. I go for the Nova Burst break here. First shot control, better kick reset speed, important on a semi-auto gun there. I also go for the long barrel in this case, better damage range. Also helps out that magazine capacity, which is kind of interesting on there too. The H-lock foregrip here for the steadiness, the better horizontal control, just kind of making it more of a laser beam there. There's not much recoil in either direction, but anytime you can get horizontal control, minimize that as much as possible, that's a win. And I just like the feel of this thing, very commando foregrip-esque here for sure. The pillory rear grip for that better ADS speed, loving the feel of that, making this more snappy and aggressive. The movement stock for the better strafe, yet again, always a good option there. The 3 milliwatt motion laser as well. This is going to help out with damage range and recoil stabilization. that's a win. The laser's not that visible, at least in my opinion, and anytime you're getting better range and recoil stabilization, it's always a good thing here. And then I go for high velocity ammo. You get a 912 velo on here just because I don't feel like you need recoil springs. This weapon's so easy. But if you wanted to have basically a non-existent recoil pattern, you could use those if you didn't care too much about the velocity, but this just makes the gun feel like it hits even more. Really, really fun setup. Following that, we've got the MXR-17. You saw I sort of corrected myself as far as my favorite rifles in the game go. The MXR is another contender for my absolute favorite. It's definitely between this and the X9 Maverick. This thing hits like a truck. You gotta land a headshot with it for it to be insanely efficient, but if you can do that, I mean, this thing is going to just absolutely fry. And I think it's pretty easy to stay on target, especially with this setup here. First up, going for the compensator, better vertical control, so making the gun easier to use. Hybrid barrel, we get some better damage range. That effective damage range being out to 45 meters is insane, and a 936 velo is more than enough for multiplayer there. We've got the Sentry Pro hand stop for the better idle sway and steadiness and whatnot, and the horizontal control, again, just very steady, very accurate with this on there. The 30 round extended mag, no cons here, so just extra ammo. I like the iron sight, so I don't feel like I need to burn an optic here. Might as well get some you know, better safety net option there for the ammo supply. We got the quick draw rear grip yet again for that better ADS speed, the movement stock for the better strafe speed. That's a deadly duo on any gun. We got the motion laser again for that better damage range and stabilization, and then recoil spring. So obviously we're loading up a lot on a recoil control and stabilization there, but we get some aggressiveness here. We also get some better range. This thing is definitely a very versatile rifle, and like I said, if you get a headshot, some upper body shots in there, it's gonna shred. You can't go wrong with the AK-27 either. This one's another one that I would say probably is in contention for one of my favorite weapons in the game. It feels good. It hits hard over all ranges. It can be pretty aggressive too, which is kind of surprising when you first build this out. You don't necessarily envision it as being a potential close range, early mid-range option, but it's kind of good at everything, quite frankly. Not huge on the irons here. They're not terrible, but I much prefer the ELO sight personally. I also got the compensator yet again for that vertical control. We got the Vortex barrel, the Vorstock barrel rather, the long barrel equivalent for the better damage range here, 28 meters in that first damage range, and then 68 meters on that second damage range. That basically covers everything. The horizontal recoil control grip, so we got max horizontal, max vertical control out of our underbarrel and our muzzle there. The extended mag, yet again, no cons, just some extra ammo. You love to see it. You could always swap that out though for a laser for even better damage range if you wanted that on there instead. Quick draw rear grip for that better ADS, and again, the movement stock for that better strafe speed, and then the buffer springs on here, the recoil springs for even easier control. Really, the control is what you have to navigate with this gun. Outside of that, this thing will hit like a truck. It's really, really good for damage. Not surprising, but the M15 Mod 0, also a mainstay here, probably going to be on the top 10 list for some time. Obviously, we're breaking this down every single season. This thing is a do-it-all rifle. Up close, mid-range, long range. It's got low recoil, decently clean irons here. Like, it's checking all the right boxes. The thing is just consistent and it's versatile. You love to see it, right? So again, we got the compensator on here for that better vertical control. I go for the bullet velocity barrel in this case. We got an 870 velocity, which is decent enough. The reason I go for that is because I am using the aftermarket part, the FMJ ammo mod, which helps out, keeps you off the mini-map as far as the firing ping goes. Better damage range, better penetration, better flinch, but it does hurt your velocity, so that barrel will sort of gain that back some. Really cool prestige attachment though. I've also got the iron hold angled underbarrel for the better steadiness, the better horizontal control on there. Free extended mag, just extra ammo with no real cons, so I figured, hey, why not? We're using an iron sight, so we get an extra attachment there. The quick draw rear grip for that better ADS. You already saw this coming, the ADS movement stock for that better strafe speed, and then again, the stable range laser for that better range and stabilization across the board. This build just enhances the versatility of this gun in general. Like I said, it can quite literally just do it all. And by the way, as we are breaking down all the weapons and setups here today, if you guys enjoy the video, you find the information helpful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It's always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to ensure you're always in the know for all things going on in COD, this right here is the place to be. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Now, every single season, of course, when we see new weapons introduced, I'm always going to include those in the top 10. Even if they're not like true top 10 contenders, I want to make sure you guys always have class setups for the brand new guns. Luckily, the Maddox is a true top 10 contender. This thing is a ton of fun. It's one of my favorite weapons dating back to Black Ops 4, especially with the ELO sight on here. Big nostalgia vibes, and I mean, it's a laser beam. It's another do-it-all rifle that excels kind of everywhere, quite frankly. One of my new favorite builds in the entire game here, just because of how versatile and how consistent it is. So I'm rocking that ELO sight on there, as mentioned, of course. We got the compensator for that better vertical control. I am going for the hybrid barrel in this case, some damage range, some velocity. If you want to prestige it, you do get a 2-round burst barrel, but it hurts the damage and the damage range, which is kind of a no-go in my opinion. But the hybrid barrel, range of velocity, never a bad option to extend out both of those. We got a 754 velocity, which is sufficient for what it's worth. 26 meter effective damage range there. We've got the H-lock foregrip for the better steadiness, horizontal control, and whatnot. You could also go for the mobility foregrip as well for what it's worth, or even the precision one, depending on how you play the gun. If you're doing a lot of strafe, maybe some close range, some mid-range with it, this could work. But with precision, with movement speed and horizontal control, viable as well in there. You can kind of go back and forth, and there's no real wrong answers there. I also go for the sprint to fire rear grip. In this case, the ADS speed 260, not too bad. Sprint to fire 100 milliseconds. Like, this thing is almost instantaneous. If you were to switch over, it's 190. So it's a decent difference there if you want to go for the ADS one. Again, there's no real wrong answer between these two. I also go for the movement stock yet again with that better strafe speed on there. 3 milliwatt motion laser for that better range and stabilization. You could also go for the ADS one though, for what it's worth, the 1 milliwatt instinct. Then lastly, if you're okay with the control, you could probably opt for overpressure to get a velocity of 904. But if you want a laser beam, go for the recoil springs. Again, either or there is going to work just fine. There's no real wrong answer. Insanely versatile gun and a ton of fun to use. Then we've got our other new weapon for the season, the Kogot SMG, or the Kogot. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Kellogg's SMG here. It's really good up close. It feels kind of inconsistent in the mid-range here, a little bit of recoil as well. So this is definitely going to be an aggressive SMG, the one that you want to use almost exclusively in the close range for sure, in my opinion. But here I am first up rocking the compensator yet again for that better vertical control. I go for the long barrel in this case, the better damage range out to 16 meters. It's got a decent TTK in that first damage range, it feels like. I go for the mobile foregrip for the better horizontal control, and then also the movement speed on here for sure. The extended mag, you burn through ammo with this thing. It absolutely spits out bullets, so you definitely want to have that on there just for that added safety net. The rear grip for quick draw speed, or ADS speed there, making it a little bit more snappy and aggressive. I also go for the movement stock yet again with the better strafe. There's a lot of stock options here though, and a Kimbo if you want to prestige it. It's gimmicky. It's certainly going to be a spray and pray situation from a competitive standpoint. I'm going for strafe speed though. The 1 milliwatt instinct for the better ADS and sprint to fire, just max aggression there. Then recoil springs definitely necessary because there is some noticeable control here. Also, for what it's worth, probably something to note here. If you change the barrels, the iron sights change as well. So that's going to change the visual up a little bit. So something to take note of there. If you like a certain iron sight versus the other, might weigh your decision on if you want to use hybrid or the damage barrel or something like that as you're going through and adjusting. As obviously these are all baselines, you don't always have to copy things one for one. You might like mobility where I favor control, or vice versa. Just use this as a guideline, as a first step, and then tweak as necessary. The VS Recon, still a sniping beast here in multiplayer. It feels like it kind of, well, when you hit your shots at least. Let me line this up, get it nice and precise. When you hit your shots, this thing's a beast for sure. Feels like it kind of just one-shots everywhere. If you know the bullet drop and the bullet lead in a multiplayer, it's pretty easy to do so. And I love the fact that you can stack so much mobility on this thing and make it just a quick scoping beast. I like the default scope, so I rock with that. Figured wide as well, rock a suppressor, keeps me off the radar. A compensator is not gonna be doing much for me in terms of a bolt action sniper. We've got the fast barrel on here, the short barrel for the better ADS speed and everything, just making it more aggressive there. The prestige attachment under barrel, it's a crutch here. Better aiming speed, better rechamber stabilization. When you hold your breath, it's got better sway. Like, it's just a huge crutch in my opinion. We got the speed mag here for the better ADS as well. The quick draw rear grip for a better ADS. I go for the flinch resistance stock on here, just so if I'm getting shot at, I can still stay on target a little bit easier. 1 milliwatt laser for the better ADS, and then light bolt here for the faster fire rate, basically, so I can get my shots off faster back to back. Very aggressive recon build, but it's so fun to run around with. I do love the MAA1 as well. This thing is pretty easy to stay on target with, especially over range. It's got that fast fire rate for a burst as well. You can kind of just spray with it. The beast of a marksman rifle, it really plays more like a general assault rifle, of course, here. And it's the M8. It's a classic, of course. Gotta rock that elo sight on there yet again. I do go for the RL break in this case. The kick reset speed, the better vertical control makes it pretty easy to stay on target with. Hybrid barrel for some range and some velocity. We got a 39 meter effective damage range. 977 velo is covering you in all situations there. The mobile foregrip for the better control and movement speed here. Free extended mag for some extra ammo capacity. Never a bad option there with the 40 rounder. Quick draw rear grip, that strafe stock on here as well with the ADS movement stock. Then I went for the recoil springs again, just to keep things laser accurate. This thing is a beam over all ranges. Doesn't really matter if you're fighting somebody out in the open. If they're on a head glitch, you can fry with this thing. It's a beast. And then lastly here, we've got the NPC, the MSMC equivalent here. Basically, this gun's gonna kind of be a hit or miss for some people, mainly because of the recoil control. It can get a little bit iffy at times, but if you can stay on target with this thing, it's got a really fast TTK. It's one of the more aggressive SMGs in the game, and it just feels really good in general here. There's just a bit of a skill gap with it overall. That said, I deal with the irons. They're not my favorite in the world, but I really want to go all in on, you know, actual stats here as far as control and range and whatnot goes. So compensated for that better vertical control, go for the long barrel, extending out that better damage range out to 12 meters with that fastest TTK, of course. We got the horizontal control under barrel here, the drift lock for max horizontal control. The first is extended mag here, 40 rounds, plenty large safety net there for multiplayer especially. I actually go for the accuracy grip here to help out that vertical control, the general recoil gun kick. To make up for that lack of ADS speed though, I do also go for the swift point laser for the better ADS and sprint to fire. We yet again got that strafe stock on here, and then recoil spring is kind of a must have as well. If you can attack the control appropriately and get this gun to a level where you're comfortable with it, it can really fry, it can really melt, which is a ton of fun here. Quite frankly, all 10 of these weapons feel fantastic, and there's even more we could talk about here. The multiplayer meta is very diverse, and it's got a lot of parity right now, which is a great thing. But that's gonna wrap things up for this video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.